Hey guys, this is GFXneko here, and this is my first tutorial I'll be uploading. It's a tutorial about how to fix the lighting in the first few stages of your SIG when you first put the render in. So it's just a nice little trick you can use that I find helps a lot. A lot of the times you'll add your render in and you'll add your background in, and sometimes they won't fit, right? Like, if you look at the lightings here, they're completely different. Well, not completely different, but fairly different. So let's take a look at the background here. You see, it's got like a bunch of yellowish and orange tones in here, and if you look at the render, it's more just yellow. It's just yellow and pink, right? So you can fix that fairly easily and make it easier to sort of deal with as a whole later on. So basically there's two ways of doing this, well, two ways that I use. The first one being you basically change what the background looks like to fit the render, and that's simple. You just put a gradient map over the background, and I'll show you how to do that right now and how I did it. So putting the gradient map over the background, you want to keep a few things in mind. You want to keep in mind the colors in the render and the colors in the background if they're too different, right? I think they're fairly similar, so I think that you could do it probably without it looking too bad. So just grab sort of. I'm gonna take the pink and sort of match it. So I'm gonna sort of take like a light pink, and then take a dark pink or purple, I guess. They're very similar, so when you make the gradient map, it's not really gonna look like much is going on. It's sort of just gonna look like a solid color, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, so you have your solid color. I know that right now you're probably thinking it looks stupid, but like I said, you always gotta mess around with this right here, the layer settings. So just sort of scroll through them, find one you like. I mean, for the purpose of the SIG, I'm going to use soft light. So, and soft light it just sort of makes it fit, right? So now the lighting looks a lot better. The second way I wanted to show you was actually just applying the lighting to the render to make it fit. So there we go. That I think looks a lot better than actually editing the background. It's just editing the render. So how I did this was pretty much the same thing, but you have to take a few extra steps in order to not mess anything up. So you have your render, right? Go ahead and press Ctrl J. Always make a copy of your render in case you mess up. That's what I always do. So we have a copy of our render now, and just hide that for a second. Go to your background layer and just take a dark color and a light color. And always make sure when you're making gradient maps to have the dark color above the light color, just, well, at least for this effect, or else the colors will look inverted and it's kind of weird. So unhide your render again and click here and make a gradient map. There's a bunch to choose from. Always choose this one, which is your foreground over your background, and yeah, just like that. So then you get this, right? And like I said, you always have to change it. I think I had mine on hard light. I'm not sure. No, it wasn't. Where were you? Oh, right here. Okay, alright, linear burn. So linear burn just sort of like darkens it. Yeah, so that's really intense. You want to tone that down a bit. Turn down to around like 70, or maybe a bit less than that. Yeah, around 50, 60 I'd say. So you got it at 60, right? And the problem with when you do this is it also affects the background as well. So if you just merge it down, then you'll get it to only affect the render, right? So there you go. Now you got the background and you got the new effect lighting. And you can just, you know, use a bunch of different ones if you want. Like, just play around with the effect. It's really useful. So then you can begin to add your effects, and then later when you add gradient maps, colors don't look like, the lighting doesn't look completely screwed up. So yeah, that's the end of my tutorial. Hope you learned something, and I'll be uploading more later.